Those outside these zones will later be identified as Hamas terrorists, providing legal justification for their elimination. That's what they're going to do. So if you don't go into this concentration camp, they're going to kill you. This is real. Israel is planning to establish a concentration camp, which they call a humanitarian city. Wait, where is the... Okay. Go back. Okay, let's start again. This is real. This says, this is from the Jewish newspaper, the Haaretz. Israel wants to build the most moral concentration camp in the world.
But they're far left, Jimmy. Here, let me be my moron New York Israel supporting friends. But Haaretz is, they're left wing. Yeah, but they're still Israeli, aren't they? So they're above me even, aren't they? Dipshits.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to call it Jimmy Dore's most moral comedy special. That's what I think I should call it.
The most moral comedy special in the world.
Instead of grabbing by the pussy, I'll call it Jimmy Dore's most moral comedy special in the world. I think I will switch it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm going to switch it. Because I can't say grab him by the pussy when I do promo for it on TV or radio. But I don't know, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, here it is. By the way, the world's most moral concentration camp, that's like saying you're the world's most compassionate Zionist. Nothing like that actually exists. The support given by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to a criminal plan being promoted by Defense Minister Katz involving the construction of a humanitarian city on the ruins of Rafah, which would incarcerate all the enclave's residents, is a moral and historic nadir for the state of Israel and the Jewish people. No matter how they try in Israel to wrap this move with laundered epithets, they are talking about a concentration camp. That's what they're talking about doing. They're talking.
Gaza already was.
Yeah.
I guess they've thinned out. I guess they've mowed the lawn enough, though, to have a patch of grass in this much smaller area.
So the construction of this city would start in 60 days. And once the Palestinians go in, they will not be allowed to leave.
Great. Well, I guess everybody's happy.
And that's where they're going to put it. This is their humanitarian. So it's a concentration camp. They're calling it. And as Haaretz says, it's the most moral concentration camp. They call it a humanitarian city. But here's what it really is. Defense chief of Israel plans to concentrate all Gaza's population in humanitarian city built on Rafah ruin. Concentrate. Doesn't that sound like concentration camp? Yeah, it is. That's because what it is. Defense Minister Katz said Monday that he has instructed the IDF to prepare a plan to establish a humanitarian city on the ruins of Rafah, which would eventually house the entire population of the Gaza Strip.
I wanted to pasteurize them, Jimmy, not from concentrate.
According to Katz, the plan envisions moving 600,000 Palestinians, primarily from the Al-Muswa area, into the new zone after security screening. Once inside, residents would not be allowed to leave. He also added, if conditions permit, construction of the city would begin during the 60-day ceasefire currently under negotiation. The IDF would secure the perimeter, but would not run the site or distribute aid. Katz said Israel is seeking international partners to manage the zone. The plan is being coordinated by the Defense Ministry's Director General and former Deputy IDF Chief of Staff, Amir Baram. So that's what they're doing. So it's not going to be a rich guy's prison, fresh squeezed orange juice just before the sniper takes you out. Former Israel Prime Minister says Israel's plan to build humanitarian city in Gaza amounts to a concentration camp. That's the former Israeli Prime Minister says this.
He didn't say it about Gaza itself, which was a concentration camp, though, did he?
No, but at least he's saying it now. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert said in an interview published on Sunday that the Israeli government's plan to build a so-called humanitarian city on the ruins of Rafah amounts to a concentration camp, warning that if the plan is carried out, it could be considered ethnic cleansing. You think? Israel Defense Minister Katz first announced last week that the government wants to concentrate the entire civilian population of Gaza into a camp in Rafah. Katz said that once Palestinians are inside, they can't leave. It is a concentration camp. I'm sorry, Olmert told The Guardian. If the Palestinians will be deported into the new humanitarian city, then you can say that this is part of an ethnic cleansing. It hasn't yet happened. Olmert, who served as Israel's prime minister from 2006 to 2009, said that ethnic cleansing would be the inevitable interpretation if the plan is carried out. So the same people who say Haaretz is a left-wing Israeli newspaper, do they also say the former prime minister is too far left? So anybody who they again, it's just crazy. When they build a camp where they plan to clean more than half of Gaza, then the inevitable understanding of the strategy is that it is not to save Palestinians. It is to deport them, to push them, and to throw them away. There is no other understanding that I have, at least. This is a former prime minister of Israel saying this stuff. Okay. Kind of ruins the effect of a humanitarian city if you shoot everybody as they're coming in. Let me just say that. But they'll use silencers to be considerate of those people sleeping in late, I guess. They're gonna have them do all these new Palestinian yoga classes where you have to dive for cover in between each pose. Hey, assume the child hiding behind rubble pose. That's my favorite. The former Israeli prime minister claimed Israel is not currently carrying out an ethnic cleansing, but Prime Ministers Benjamin Netanyahu and other Israeli officials have made clear that is the goal of Israel's current military operations. According to the Israeli news site Gallant, Israel officials estimate that the construction of the humanitarian city will cost $2.7 to $4 billion and that Israel may have to take on the cost by itself, meaning the United States.
They should definitely have to pay for that themselves.
The initial proposal involved building essentially a sprawling tent camp that could house 500,000 people.
Well, that should be great. I'm sure there won't be terrorist organizations sprouting up right and left in that. Right?
Yeah.
We're so afraid of it, but you don't think that that's going to form gangs and things that's going to blow back in your dumb faces?
He said it's unforgivable. It's unacceptable. There are continuous operations organized, orchestrated in the most brutal criminal manner by a large group.
It's called your country.
He was criticizing the actions of settler attacks in the West Bank. So Israelis are attacking people, including Christians, burning down Christian cities in the West Bank. Israelis are doing that, and that's what
the IDF. They're attacking the IDF from stopping them from murdering Palestinians in the West Bank. They're doing deadly attacks on IDF. Don't forget, Netanyahu is beholden to even crazier people than him.
Yes.
Trump has to suck up to him. He has to suck up to that fat terrorist. I forget his dumb name. So, because he would go to prison. So think of how hilarious those two terrorists like run the world right now.
So think about how bad this is. This guy who's saying this former prime minister, he oversaw major military operations when he was prime minister, including the 2006 Lebanon War and Operation Cast Lead, a heavy bombing campaign in Gaza that lasted over 3 weeks and at the end of 2008 into 2009 killed about 14,000 Palestinians. So he's already bombed a concentration camp, which is Gaza, and he killed 14,000. So even this is even too much for him. Sal Rad says, so anyone who doesn't go to the concentration camp will be eliminated, because that's what they say. Those outside these zones will later be identified as Hamas terrorists, providing legal justification for their elimination. That's what they're going to do. So if you don't go into this concentration camp, they're going to kill you.
That's humanitarian.
This so-called humanitarian city plan for Gaza would give each person less space than an incarcerated person at Guantanamo. Call it what it is. It's a concentration camp. And illegally, this is Yanis Varoufakis, an illegally occupying army builds a concentration camp for every man, woman, and child of an occupied land and decrees that those who will not be voluntarily interned in that camp will be eliminated. Is there a more accurate definition of a genocide? I don't think so.
Hey, go ahead and murder all these people. But you know what? Don't ever tell me about Putin is a bad man.
Yep.
Or don't tell me about Mustache Man ever again, frankly.
That's right.
Because you got yours, didn't you? You got back good, didn't you? You took the same amount of blood as that piece of shit took from you. Fuck you.
Gaza has been a concentration camp for the last 18 years when Israel sealed it off from the outside world. What Israel plans now is to make it an even tinier concentration camp with no homes, hospitals, schools, or bakeries. In Europe 80 years ago, they called those death camps. So now they're doing to the Palestinians what the Nazis did to them. That's exactly what's happening. And there's no getting around this. And MAGA does not go along with this. So, you know who does? The Trump administration goes along with this. Dan Bongino, who said his thing he cares about most in the world is Israel. Do you remember that video? I played it for you.
Yeah.
And Trump's whole administration is filled with those. Marco Rubio, Pam Bondi, now Kash Patel.
It's not complicated. It's real simple. The people that are supposed to put you first said to your dumb face, I worry about Israel before you. They say it out loud. It's not a conspiracy. They told you this. In fact, when you showed the video, I'm like, well, maybe that's not going to come back to be the worst thing in the world. Of course I was wrong. Of course that was highly suspect.
Well, and if you don't cry about this, you have to laugh, and you should laugh this Thursday through Sunday at my show in Toronto, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, or Concord, New Hampshire. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets, and we'll see you this weekend. Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Toronto, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, Oxnard, California, Rutherford, New Jersey, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.